They say sleep paralysis is just a trick of the mind, a condition where the brain wakes up, but the body doesn't. Science explains the phenomenon, but what if there's something more? What if, in those moments of helplessness, we're seeing something we're not meant to? Some believe these shadowy figures and crawling creatures aren't just hallucinations, but something else entirely. Ultra-dimensional beings. Entities that exist in the spaces between reality, waiting for the right moment to make themselves known. And when they do, the fear is more than just in your mind. Let's begin. Hello, Paranormal Poet. My name is Donnie, and this happened to me in September of 2012. I always been skeptical of the paranormal. I never entertained ghost stories or cryptid sightings, always chalking them up to overactive imaginations. But that night changed me. That night made me realize that sometimes we don't see things, not because they aren't there, but because we aren't supposed to. My day was as normal as any other. Work, errands, the usual routine. By the time night rolled around, I was in my room, unwinding with some video games. My setup was simple. Bed against one wall, TV firmly pressed against another, facing the left side of my bed. I stayed up later than I should have, as always, and finally decided to call it a night. Nothing felt off. Nothing felt wrong, but that was about to change. Sometime in the night, I fell into a deep sleep and hit REM. I don't remember the dream exactly, but I remember the feeling. It was bad. A nightmare so intense that it forced me to wake up. My eyes immediately snapped open. I was struggling to breathe. My heart was pounding. Something was wrong. The room felt colder, physically colder. The thermostat was set at 65 degrees, but this chill was unnatural, sinking deep into my bones. At first I thought it was just lingering fear from the nightmare, but then I saw movement. At the edge of my vision, something shifted. I forced my eyes to focus, and that's when I saw it. A creature was clinging to my wall. It was humanoid in shape, but distorted. It was so unnatural. It moved on all fours, defying gravity as it stuck to the surface like something completely out of a horror movie, except it's happening in front of my very eyes. Its face, if you could call it that, was mostly featureless, except for its eyes. Wide, completely black, and staring straight at me. Panic surged through me. I tried to scream, to move, to do anything, but I couldn't. My body was completely paralyzed. That's when the thing started crawling towards me. Its movements were unnatural, jerky, yet moved with purpose, like something about its design was flawed, missing, incomplete, yet there it was. My mind was screaming, but my body refused to even respond. And then, it touched me. Its hand, if that's what it was, pressed against my chest. The fingers were long, unnaturally thin. The texture? Dead. That's the only way I can describe it. Cold, lifeless, like something had never been alive to begin with. That's when I jolted awake. I shot up out of bed, gasping, drenched in sweat. I ran to the light switch and flipped it on. The room was exactly how I had last left it. No creature, no cold, no nothing. Just silence. But something felt off. My eyes darted around, my breathing still shaky, and then I saw it. My TV stand had moved. Not by much, just a slight shift, but that TV had been firmly against the wall before I went to sleep. It hadn't been touched all night, or at least not by me. I sat there, frozen for what felt like hours, trying to convince myself it was a dream. But deep down, I knew the truth. This wasn't just sleep paralysis. This wasn't just my mind playing tricks on me. That thing was real. And worst of all, I don't think it ever really left. Because even now, all these years later, I sometimes get the feeling that it's still there, watching, waiting, hiding in a place where we can't always see, but can sometimes access when we are at our most vulnerable, the place between dreams and something much, much worse.